Welcome to Nerdaties. Bitches.
No topic too absurd, no statement too asinine, no question too interesting. That's right, you saw it on the title anyway, but it's a Nerdies interview show. I am Mike.
I am Justin.
I'm Joe.
And our guest this week is...
Benjamin.
And we are talking about Dead Air, right?
That's correct. That's what I'd like to talk about. I mean, it's up to you guys. balls in your court.
No, I feel compelled to talk about your most recent work, and it does sound interesting as hell. So the breakdown I got from the Kickstarter campaign is once a year you can talk to the dead and how that affects the world as well as the specific characters. How bad did I screw that up?
No, that's a very good summation of the book. So the idea is there's a technology called D-TALq that's been invented and commoditized and put into retail, and it does allow you to talk to the dead for one day out of the year. And like all technologies, we eventually get tired of it. It's like, it was cool for a while and we just move on to the next thing. It's like what we're doing right now, video conferencing. This would have blown my mind when I was like 20 years old. And now it's in our pockets. And who cares? It's with us every single day, So the whole D-TALq thing is it has a huge effect on society and then it kind of gradually fades. But for the purposes of the story, the technology allows this group of characters who we see in two different time periods. One is in the mid 90s when they're in university. They're all college radio DJs. They're all, really close friends. They have all that young energy of haven't been beaten down by the world yet. And then we see them 15 years later in a fictional 2011, where they're in their mid to late 30s and things are a little bit different for them. They've all gone their separate ways. But one of them uses this D-TALq technology to reach out to someone because she feels guilty about a tragedy that occurred in their shared past. And she wants to apologize for her role in it, what she feels was her role in it. And when she does that, she discovers that the tragedy she thought she occurred didn't happen at all the way she thought it did. And so the story becomes, how did these people as adults try to reconcile their past, what happened, and if there's anything they can do for their friend that they had thought they had lost.
It's interesting describing the notion that something this mind-blowing becomes like passe. It makes me instantly think of the Jurassic World movies. Like,
yeah,
they go into that movie where it's like, hey, we did it. We Jurassic like crazy. We Jurassic the fuck out of this island, and nobody cares anymore.
No.
That was like a 10-year, maybe 15 years after that last Sam Neill movie to, hey, capitalism. What kind of time gap is there? Is it like this technology is fresh when they're young and that 15 years is enough for it to become boring? Or is this something they've lived with their whole lives?
So when they're young in the book, the technology hasn't existed yet. So it's still our 90s, quote unquote. But probably in like the early to mid 2000s is when it gets invented. So by the time we catch up to them in 2011, it's been around, 5, 6, 7 years at least. And that's enough to take the bloom off the rose.
Okay. So that's very interesting. I came into it thinking this has always been a part of their lives. They're just used to the notion. And then when they get older, it bites them in the ass. But it's really two different worlds.
It's different worlds.
Before the supernatural and after the supernatural. And also in this world, is this like the supernatural fulcrum? Is this where the world realizes, oh yeah, this shit does exist? Or is it one of those fantasy magic worlds where it's always been a part of life?
Well, the interesting part of it is it's not really a supernatural thing. It's a technological thing, and it's run by a corporation. So it does have a really disruptive effect when you look at how world religions and societies have had to deal with its impact, because just because you could talk to the dead, it doesn't necessarily solve the mystery of where are they? And
just adds another layer.
Yeah, what theological construct they might fit into. And also, the dead don't have to respond. There's nothing that says they have to pick up. So just because you're reaching out to someone, there's no guarantee that you're going to be able to speak to them. So there's also this, we put in a whole bunch of rules and ways to kind of make it interesting. We have, in the book, we have a bunch of disclaimers. We did a bunch of infomercials like you would see in the 90s and early 2000s. And then at the bottom of the screen, we put all those nice fine print infomercials. And there's stuff like you have to have like a direct connection to the dead. You can't just pull up Kurt Cobain and expect he's going to answer. You can't be in a fan club. And there's also an 80 to 90 year window, a moving window. So you can't go back and speak to Muhammad or Jesus. You can probably get back to like the Second World War is probably your closest bet for a guaranteed connection. So stuff like that, just to make it fun and to keep it from going completely off the rails.
Those are fun kind of gremlin-like rules, because if you start to break them down, you could be like, well, that's bullshit. Why would it stop here? Why would it stop there? But then if you're a fun writer, you'd be like, this is why it stops here. This is why it stops there.
Yeah, it's rules upon rules, right?
Yeah. It may sound silly, like you only get 100 years worth of dead people or so, but no, like if that existed, I'd agree with that. Like, why would you be able to push the veil back 300 years ago? Who the hell from the 1700s would care to talk about and to talk to anyone now?
And how could you even relate to like someone from the 1700s? Like, what cultural common ground do you have? Like, what vocabulary would you share? You know, it starts to get real weird right around then. Actually, there was some website I was on. I can't remember how long ago, but they took a poem. It was like a poem story, and every paragraph went back 50 years of the English language. And the challenge was to see how long you could keep reading before you were no longer able to follow the narrative, because they would just switch up into the dialect of that period. And like right around 1750, 1800, it starts to get sketchy. And like past 1700, it's really tough. The words just aren't there anymore that we share.
But that definitely explains why stuff like Shakespeare is so hard to read. I don't know if you agree. In school, when they tried to make kids read Shakespeare, like Romeo and Juliet was a classic, it's impossible to understand even the most simple of his stories. But when you watch a professional do it, you can actually follow what's going on.
And the problem with that too is that was intended for performance, right? So when you're looking at it on the page, like it's dead. It doesn't really, it wasn't written with any type of inflection or any type of sense of setting or even character, right? They really relied on the performers to do all of that and the mise en scène and everything. So I always had that trouble too when reading plays in school. It felt like a wasted effort. It's like, why not at least try to get the class to act it out? Even if it's just like a table reading style thing, you probably get a lot more out of it that way.
Yeah. They try to have the whole group read a whole Shakespearean story and hand it off between. We'll have one kid in class who can actually speak, who can actually do public speaking, and it still comes out horrendous. And then you have a wall walker who's like looking at the page, who has an inch away from their face, trying to read. How could you have any continuity there? Wow, that was a nice tangent. That was a very high class tangent we just went on.
I just want to say, I rocked Shakespeare in school.
Wow.
Me too.
It's convenient that it's from an era where there's no video evidence of that.
Joe and I were theater kids together.
We were definitely theater geeks.
So
I appeared in Romeo and Juliet. I had the first line in the play, and I got to learn how to fight with a rapier.
Well, that's cool.
It was pretty fun. It was a bilingual production, so one of the Montagues were English and the Capulets were Francophone. So like we went back and forth in both languages, and then I got to play the apothecary who sells the poison later on, because you know your school is never big enough where you can't reuse someone for a role.
It's Iron Man acting.
I'm sorry.
It's Iron Man acting. You got to take on a role at every part of the play. Every act, you're somebody else. You got to fill in where you need to.
Exactly.
Given the topic. Well, that's a good question. Is the topic death, or is the dead just a good tool for the story?
So the story for me is about friendship and how it changes over time.
Okay.
And so death is this D-TALq thing is definitely a tool. It was a way for me to get into that story because I wanted to write something about 90s college radio, because I was a college radio DJ in that period, like 96 to like 99. I really enjoyed it. I knew the music, I knew the era, but I didn't want to do a slice of life story. I didn't want it to be like Giant Days, but set at a radio station. It wasn't really what I was going for. And I was trying to find a way in that would be interesting for me as well as a writer and the audience. And I started thinking about, okay, so what if there's these weird signals that start coming in over the transmitter, you know, and because theyese kids are they're radio DJs, they're close to it. They hear it first, whatever it is. They start trying to puzzle out this mystery. And then I'm like, well, where could these signals be coming from? Like, what would it be? And that's the pathway that eventually got me to this idea of, well, what if the dead could send signals and then we could receive them and send something back? So I kind of, once I had that, I was able to build the rest of the story around it.
Cool. Yeah,
And
'cause-
I noticed the Aussie shirt that Joe's wearing. We have we have a little Aussie on the front cover of the
I
of this
saw
issue. That was
that's
an Easter egg that our artist Joe Ing put in for me. I didn't know he was going to do that, and that's a lot of fun.
I've been listening to some of your things on the SoundCloud, your Dead Air
Okay.
Radio.
Yeah.
Episode 12 that you shared I connected with. There was a lot more like the harder rock. I'm like,
Nice.
yeah, that's good stuff on there. How long you
I
been
had-
doing that?
So I had a radio show in this area on FM for about 18 months. I had to put it aside because unfortunately, as you guys know, there's only so much time to do everything. And I was like, I needed to focus on books and getting those out the door and getting those ready. So it's on hiatus now, but I did about 80 shows with them.
Wow.
And it was cool because even though I had been a DJ in that period, going back to the 90s and doing this radio show, which Dead Air Radio, I was like, okay, I'll do genres from the book. Like each of the DJs has their own genre. And then I realized I couldn't just play the same bands that I liked over and over. I had to start digging deep into various genres. Like I found goth was super tough because a lot of the good goth music was like late 80s and then it kind of fades out into the 90s and it becomes like a lot of industrial and electric body music and stuff like that. So I had to search through the diaspora of these genres, and even stuff that I thought I knew well, like metal and alt rock, like, and Britpop too was another one that I had really liked when I was young. And then I'm like getting into some very obscure bands and trying to track down songs that were half decent and that were interesting. And so that was fun to put together, but it was really much more challenging than I had anticipated.
You had to like get yourself in the mindset of each character to be
Yeah.
like, okay, this is, I'm gonna go from this point of view and this one. The 90s dance music kind of brought me back to. I'm just like, oh my God, it's just like I'm listening to like I'm back in like elementary school and middle school again.
Yeah. Stuff was ubiquitous in that period. You could not escape it. Yeah.
I know.
Sci-Fi with a soundtrack is one of the taglines on the Kickstarter. Did you make specific soundtracks, like playlists for each issues, and how important would it be to listen along?
We have playlists for each of the DJs radio shows. Back when I was using Spotify, we had a couple on Spotify. They're still up on my public account there, even if I'm not active on Spotify anymore. For this issue, we have 2 on YouTube. We have an alt rock one and we have a metal one. But in terms of the show, it's the radio station itself. For this campaign, there's a tier where you can support and get it's a 3D printed cassette, like a normal size cassette. And it comes in a case, a little J card, and there's a download code where you'll get 10 episodes of Dead Air Radio. So we picked the 10 best episodes that we've done in the coolest genres. And then it's like basically 10 hours of 90s music that you can read or listen to while you're reading. Sorry.
That's smart cross promotion. Or I don't know if I'd call it, what would that be? A bonus.
Yeah, it's a bonus. We have the station breaks and the IDs and everything in there too. There's like radio host pattern. It's like you're listening to the station. I don't do different voices, but maybe I should learn how.
It's very immersive.
There we go. A little bit of a time
like
warp.
the little interstitials while you're playing Grand Theft Auto.
Yeah, there you go.
That kind of vibe.
Yeah.
You have the Kickstarter running on. You got 60 hours left on the Kickstarter.
I know, it's getting down to the wire. Get some nice cancellations today to make me sweat. It's always fun.
Oh boy.
Yeah, but I think we'll get there. If we don't, there'll be much gnashing of teeth. But I think we'll get there.
I started down the road of like with death, asking if death was a real topic. Really,
I expect nothing less. That's why I booked you guys, because I'm like, we're going to talk about death tonight. I'm ready. I've been looking forward to death.
We talk about death, and if we have enough time, we'll talk about pizza. But death is, pizza's more important. But we'll give death its time. Is there a seriousness to it, to the tone, or is it like there's a lightness in the face of something like death?
So the fun thing about doing 2 different time periods is you get to meet characters at very different points in their lives. And especially when you're younger, you have this energy and this excitement about the world. And a lot of that translates into positivity. So you get to see people before they head out into the world. And then 15 years later, you get to see what's happened to those characters. And what's happened isn't always pleasant. And the trauma that these people have gone through, whether it's their shared trauma that's at the center of the book or their individual traumas that, you know, might involve D-TALq, but are personal to them. Because we try to show each character's interactions with the technology at one point in their lives. So that has an impact on them as well. And there is a tonal shift where you encounter these people as adults, where they have responsibilities, they have trauma, and they're all trying to figure out what that means in terms of their own relationships to each other. And can we still work together and figure this thing out? You know, because there's no guarantee that when you get back together with people that you thought you'd be friends with your whole life, and when it turns out that doesn't happen, there's no guarantee that that energy and that connection will still be there. So that was something really interesting for me to explore, because I've experienced it in my own life, where you have those passionate friendships that maybe they don't last the same way you thought they would.
A description like that makes me think, if you ever get caught up with the characters from Breakfast Club the day after,
yeah,
would they really hold to what they said?
Yeah. And imagine if the people in Breakfast Club had actually been friends before that day, you know?
Yeah.
So like, yeah, you have like maybe a deeper bond, but it's tough. I mean, because we're not the same people we were last week, let alone a decade ago, you know?
Facts.
Painful facts. That daily reminders of painful facts.
Yeah, I don't just mean joint pain and like insomnia, but
psychic damage too. Every day we get more psychic damage. Like Justin's son just got his driver's license. Boom.
Hey, congratulations.
Psychic damage.
Thanks.
Well, you don't have to drive him around as much anymore, I guess.
No. It's like you look at. So we started a podcast with him as part of our network of shows that we have, Mike and I, where we started showing him things we grew up watching, and like we had just like put all those episodes on the shelf, and we finally started releasing them through like the last like year and a half. So it's very interesting going and like hearing the episodes where he sounds like a little boy. And then you hear him now, and he's just like, he's got man voice now. And like in the last couple months too, like his body has changed to like a man body now. And
that's a lot.
It is. It really is. Cause like he's got a younger brother too. I have a little one who's 5. So like watching the two of them grow, and like Zach is still tiny, but like James, my oldest, in the last 5 years has grown into like a full grown person. And it is depressing.
How did that happen?
No,
but seriously.
Yeah.
It feels like that.
Yeah.
I told him to starve him. He won't grow. Nobody listens to me.
Well, he was short too. Like he didn't hit growth spurt until like recently. And now he's like near my height. He is taller, we found out today, than like every other member of my mother's side of the family. He towers Tracy now.
Yeah, she's not big.
Yeah, she's not big. But like he's also the only person that is taller than him currently is Hunter. And Hunter is taller than I am.
Yeah, he's not going to beat like 6'6".
No, he's not. But he spurted. And it's weird. I really love the fact that we did the podcast, because I could go back and listen to his little times of like because there's much softer stuff we showed him when we first started recording with him.
Yeah.
And like compared to now, we're getting into like teen sex comedies and, you know, the harder stuff we grew up watching from the 80s and the 90s. And like
it really was a different time.
Yeah. And just like the more adult responses we get from them, it's something.
It's the simple fact that you let him say fuck now in day-to-day life.
I mean, he just says it, but I'm not going to correct him now. I'm like, you're driving, so I don't. Whatever, dude. Just try not to swear like that in front of your brother.
My nephew still hasn't cursed in front of me. He's 18 now.
Yeah, Josh is big too.
My nephew is 18. He just went to his senior prom. I'm like, oh my god.
Oh god.
Yeah. Scary. Graduating high school. Like, what the hell?
I'm out.
I'm getting gray. Yeah.
Also, somehow talking to the dead is less emotionally horrifying than this.
Yay!
Yeah, it's more theoretical.
Yes.
But I
So,
actually, sorry, I see you also did a mixed CD.
Well, it's not a mixed CD, but it is a way to, like, if you order if you pledge for like issue 3 or all 3 issues, we'll send you a random 90s CD from the radio library. So like I have what's that?
Oh, that like the nostalgia bit I love. I'll watch 90s commercials on YouTube when I'm feeling really fucking stressed.
Well, so there's no guarantee on what you're gonna get. Like, you're rolling the dice. It could be Mariah Carey, it could be Tool, it could be Kenny G Christmas, it could be Pearl Jam. Like, you're really taking a chance, but it's guaranteed to have been released between 1990 and 1999.
CNC Music Factory or some KLF.
CNC Music Factory. Yeah. Well, KLF, I don't know if they those CDs are tough to find. You know, it's weird. I find more KLF cassettes than I do CDs these days. It's super weird.
That makes sense. They're more of a boombox band.
True.
But even use the word band? No, group. They're a musical group.
Yeah.
Bands play instruments.
Did you ever read their book, How to Have a #1 Hit?
No.
They wrote a manual for it in like 93 or 94, where they laid out all the steps they took to like make sure they would hit #1 in Britain. And that it was all like, they guaranteed you could replicate it if you followed it. It's kind of interesting.
It must have worked, because if you've ever seen the video for Justified and Ancient, it was either knowing all the ins and outs of the business or black magic. They made a deal with the devil or had all the bases covered.
Have you seen the video for What Time Is Love, where it's just a car driving towards the camera for 7 minutes in a desert? It's like, that's all it is. It's on a road, and after 7 minutes, it eventually gets to where the camera is. That's the entire video.
That's cool.
That's at least more creative
cool.
than Loverboy, where it rips off the cantina scene.
That's Billy Ocean, Loverboy.
Billy Ocean. Yeah.
I like that song though. Good song.
It's pretty classic 80s. It's one of the most 80s things that ever 80s.
Yes, for sure. It's weird though that it's weird that Billy Ocean though looked at the cantina scene from Star Wars and thought romance. Like, that's the oddest part of that. For he's like, oh, I have this song Loverboy, and I know exactly what I want to put on the screen for the music video.
I think that was the director. I think Billy was too worried about his album was coming out. He's like, all right, we need it. It's the 80s, it's the early 80s. We need a music video. I trust you to make the best video we can. All right.
What are the kids like? What are the kids like?
Yeah. What are we doing? You've seen Return of the Jedi, right? Oh shit.
No, but anyway.
Yeah, we're doing it. I guess we're doing a Star Wars thing with the yak face guy. Cool. All right. No one's gonna watch it anyway.
Weird to think about Billy Ocean watching Star Wars in any capacity. Like, even as an older man, like, I'm not comfortable with that image. It's just
I could picture him like watching certain scenes.
Hey, what is this? I like this cantina stuff.
Yeah. It's a menagerie. I need a menagerie of my videos.
What do you think he's doing right now? What do you think he's doing right now, Billy Ocean?
I bet he's on a cruise ship.
What's that?
He's on a cruise ship, right?
Cruise ship? All right.
He's on a cruise ship singing Caribbean Queen.
I can't argue against that. It's too plausible.
Yes. Living on the cruise ship singing Caribbean Queen.
Yeah, he's honorary captain. Doesn't mean anything, but it makes him feel better about it.
Yeah, he gets those wings even though it's a ship.
Yeah, they won't tell him why it's wings. It's like, no, you're not senior enough to find out the secret of the ocean wings. Even the ocean's in your name.
Yeah, no, just go to the wet bar. Just go belly up there. We'll let you know when your show is.
Yeah.
So unfortunately, we don't have much time together today. You're a busy individual, and we're poor and don't have full Zoom. Time is not on either of our sides.
We have trivia night.
Yeah, I love the idea of being on bootleg Zoom though. That's like that's the best. That's how everyone should use Zoom. Don't pay the corporate masters at Zoom.
Yeah. This is basically the equivalent of turning on the porno channel back in the 90s and waiting for a boob to come in.
Everything is just constant flickering. I feel like I think there should be random limbs like coming in and out of frame. Yeah. You know,
you can be like that was definitely a pussy. That was a pussy right there. For like the tenth of a second, I saw a pussy and tits together. So it's the lesbian scene, guys. We're on the right one. Why am I not alone? Why am I alone?
Wrap it, Mike. We're gonna die.
Okay. Kickstarter.com, Dead Air.
Deadaircomic.com.
Deadaircomic.com. We're going to Kickstarter. Look up Benjamin Hunting. There's different ways to do this. How much time do we have? Do we just blather until we're done?
There's a benjaminhunting.com.
That's true. There's that too.
Yeah.
Are we just this blacks out on the screen? That would be
It will absolutely just boot us all from the call.
awesome.
Like when
awesome.
Kramer
Try to
took that
catch
car out.
I try to catch it because then editing just the
Oh yeah.
off.
All right, don't let me push you to blackout then. Let's do this clean.
All right, so support the Kickstarter, and check out Dead Air because it's pretty awesome. And who doesn't love music?
Way to end with a bang, Joe.
Who doesn't love music?
Thanks for having me on, guys. I
All
appreciate
right,
it.
Benjamin,
Thank you
for
for your
joining
time,
us.
Benjamin. Thank you.
Bye.
Good old fashioned fuck bye, everybody.
Yeah, you know our shit. Fuck bye.
Bye.
Right under the wire.